There are people watching this video right now who carry something inside them that they have never been able to name. Something that moves through their body like a river moves through ancient earth. Something that pulls them toward certain places, certain people, certain truths. And they have spent their whole life thinking there was something wrong with them. But there is nothing wrong with you. What you are carrying is not a mistake. It is not a disorder. It is not a defect that needs to be fixed or medicated or explained away by people who do not understand what moves through your bones. What you are carrying is ancestral memory. It is the consciousness of people who came before you, people whose names you may never know, people whose stories were buried or forgotten or deliberately hidden by the families that came after them, but their blood still runs in your veins, and their consciousness still moves through your body. Even if you never heard their names spoken, even if you never saw their faces in photographs, even if your family erased every trace of where they came from, the blood remembers what the mouth was told to forget. And I am going to give you 5 signs today, 5 things that happen to people who carry ancestral memory in their blood. And I want you to listen carefully because some of you are going to recognize every single one of these signs in yourself. And when you do, you will finally understand something that you have been trying to explain your entire life. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are ancestral. Before I give you the 5 signs, I need to tell you something. Ancestral memory is not something that modern psychology understands. It is not something that science can measure in a laboratory. But indigenous peoples have known about it for thousands of years. We know that consciousness does not die with the body. We know that what a person experiences, what a person learns, what a person survives, gets encoded into something much deeper than DNA. It gets encoded into the spirit. And that spirit moves forward through blood, through lineage, through the people who come after. My grandmother told me that your ancestors are not dead. They are not in some distant place that you cannot reach. They are walking through you right now. They are thinking through your mind. They are feeling through your heart. They are moving your hands. They are guiding your feet toward certain places and away from others. And if you are sensitive enough to feel it, if you are aware enough to notice it, you can have a relationship with them even now. You can ask them for guidance. You can feel their presence. You can receive their wisdom. And they will come to you if you know how to listen. The first sign that you carry ancestral memory is that you have always felt drawn to certain places on the earth without any logical explanation. Not a casual interest in nature, not a preference for hiking or camping, something much deeper than that, something that feels like coming home. You will stand in a particular forest and something inside your chest will open. You will walk along a certain river, and your breathing will slow and deepen in a way that it never does anywhere else. You will find yourself returning to the same place again and again, year after year, sometimes without even knowing why you are doing it. This is not sentimentality. This is your ancestors calling you home, because that place is sacred to your lineage. That earth is where your people walked. That water is where they hunted or fished or performed ceremonies. That landscape holds the memory of their struggles and their joys and their profound spiritual practices. And your blood knows this. Your body remembers this, even if your conscious mind never learned it. The second sign that you carry ancestral memory is that you have always experienced emotions far more intensely than the people around you. You feel things in your body that others do not feel. When someone you love is suffering, you carry their suffering inside yourself. When someone in a room is angry or afraid or sad, you absorb that emotion even if they never speak it. People have called you too sensitive your entire life, too emotional, too intense, too much, and you have tried to shut it down. You have tried to feel less. You have tried to make yourself smaller, so that you would not absorb so much pain from the world. But you cannot shut it off, because this is not a personality flaw. This is not something broken in you that needs to be fixed. This is ancestral knowing. Indigenous peoples understood that the person who feels deeply is the one who carries power. The person who can sense what is invisible is the one who has the gift to heal. The sensitive child was not seen as weak. The sensitive child was observed and recognized and taught that what they carried was a responsibility and a gift. My people were taught that feeling deeply is how you survive. It is how you know when danger is coming before you see it with your eyes. It is how you know whether a stranger means well or means harm. It is how you know what the weather will do. It is how you know when a relationship is about to break. It is how you know when something is wrong, even though everyone else is telling you everything is fine. That depth of feeling comes from your ancestors. It comes from their survival. It comes from their need to stay alive in a world that was trying to destroy them. The third sign that you carry ancestral memory is that you have always felt like you do not fully belong in this modern world. Something about the way people live now has never sat right with you. The obsession with buying things, the obsession with status, the obsession with speed and efficiency and productivity. You have watched the world chase money, and you have felt something inside you saying, "This is not real. This is not what life is for. This is not what we were built for." You have looked at the way people treat the earth, and something inside you has recoiled. You have looked at the way people treat each other, and something inside you has hurt. You have looked at the pace of modern life, and something inside you has said, "We were not meant to live like this." And you have never been able to explain this to the people around you because they seem perfectly content in this race. They seem to accept the rules without questioning them. They seem to believe that this is how life has always been. But you know better. Your ancestors know better. Your blood carries memory of a different way of living, a way that was slower, a way that was quieter, a way that was connected to the earth and connected to each other and connected to something sacred that this modern world has completely forgotten.
What the elder just shared with you is not philosophy. It is not spiritual bypassing. It is not wishful thinking. This is ancestral truth that has been passed down through thousands of years, and it is time for you to understand what it really means. When the elder spoke about ancestral memory, he was speaking about something that modern science is only beginning to understand. There is a field of research called epigenetics that shows us that trauma, experiences, and survival patterns can actually be encoded into our genetic expression. Your DNA is not just a fixed code. It is responsive. It carries memory. It responds to what your ancestors experienced. It carries what they learned. But beyond genetics, beyond biology, beyond anything that science can currently measure, there is something else. There is consciousness. There is spirit. There is a continuity of awareness that moves through lineage, like a river that never stops flowing. Think about what happens when you stand in a place and you feel something move through your body. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your breath. That is not imagination. That is recognition. Your body is remembering. Your ancestors are reaching through time to tell you something important. They are saying, "I was here, I belong here, and so do you." The elder mentioned the first sign, the pull towards certain places on the earth. This is not something that people talk about openly, because in our modern world, we have been taught to dismiss it. We have been taught that if something cannot be explained logically, it is not real. But millions of people experience this. They feel pulled to a place they have never been. They feel at home in a landscape they have never learned. They feel peace in a location that has no conscious connection to their life. But there is a connection. There is a blood connection. There is an ancestral connection. Your body knows it even when your mind does not. This is not poetry. This is biology mixed with spirit. This is your cells recognizing sacred ground because your ancestors walked that ground. They hunted there. They performed ceremonies there. They buried their dead there. And that knowing lives in your blood. When the elder talked about the second sign, about sensitivity, about feeling things more deeply than those around you, he was naming something that millions of people have experienced and been told was wrong. You were told you were too much. You were told you were broken. You were told you needed medication. You were told you needed to be fixed. But what if you were not broken? What if what you carry is exactly what you are supposed to carry? What if your ancestors passed down to you the ability to sense danger, to read intention, to feel the emotional temperature of a room because they needed you to have these gifts to survive? Because in a world that was trying to destroy them, the sensitive ones were the ones who lived. The sensitive ones could feel the threat coming. The sensitive ones could sense who was trustworthy. The sensitive ones knew when to run. Indigenous peoples understood something that modern culture has completely forgotten. They understood that sensitivity is power. That depth of feeling is not weakness. That the ability to perceive what is invisible is the greatest gift a person can carry. The sensitive child was not seen as broken. The sensitive child was recognized as carrying a gift. That child would grow into the healer, the medicine person, the one the community came to when something was wrong and nobody could explain what it was. And now we come to the third sign. The elder spoke about not belonging in the modern world, about feeling like this pace of life is wrong, about sensing that this obsession with consumption and status is not aligned with how humans are supposed to live. He spoke about the hurt you feel when you see how people treat the earth, the way your body recoils when you see how people treat each other. This is increasingly common. More and more people are waking up to the fact that something is fundamentally wrong with the way we are living. But because the system is so pervasive, because it surrounds us completely, we internalize the wrongness as something inside ourselves. We think we are depressed, we think we are anxious, we think we are broken, but the elder is telling you something radical and true. That feeling is not your pathology. That feeling is your wisdom. That feeling is your ancestors speaking through you, saying this is not the way we taught you. This is not how we lived. This is not aligned with the earth. This is not aligned with each other. This is not aligned with anything sacred. Your discomfort with this modern world is proof that something ancient and wise is still alive inside you. It is proof that your ancestors have not abandoned you. It is proof that their teachings still move through your blood. If you recognized yourself in even one of these signs, then something is calling you. Something is trying to wake you up. Something is trying to remind you that you are more than what this modern world tells you that you are. In the comments below, tell me which of these three signs resonated most deeply with you. Tell me what you felt when the elder spoke these words. And if this is the kind of conversation you have been seeking, subscribe to this channel. We are collecting people who remember. We are gathering those who can feel the ancestral call moving through their blood. Come back next week. The elder has more to teach you. There are 2 more signs, and they will change everything you thought you knew about yourself.